The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists, Josh Shigala from the Standard.io.
Yo, moaning.
Peter Todd, the Crypto Chronomancer.
Hello, world.
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue 1, AMC Theaters to accept Bitcoin, Ether for online payments. Dogecoin will be next. Famous for their inclusion in the Reddit stock tips excitement, AMC Theaters has really followed through, offering to accept cryptocurrencies online where it's easy and safe. Still no Bitcoin ATMs, still no standee displays in their lobbies, still no word on GameStop. Josh Shigala, the news is excited. Are we supposed to be excited too?
I mean, the thing is with theaters is you kind of, what they really want to do is have some sort of mortgage where you can put your house up for mortgage so you can afford the popcorn at the theater, you know, take a loan out against your, that would probably be the more useful. No, but Lightning Network would be great if they could like initiate the Lightning Network, of course, because, you know, I mean, that would be great. More of this sort of network effect stuff, but everything else, I don't know. What are we in 2013 when we're celebrating every little shop that, do people even go to the cinema now? I don't know.
I haven't been to the theaters in more than 2 years. But watch out, Josh, you're giving Rocket Mortgage ideas. I could see a kiosk in there where you'd get free popcorn and a new home mortgage, and everybody would go for it. I remember in college, they were giving out like, you know, cups and tote bags and t-shirts, and they were getting a lot of signups. Well,
in America, you could also give away like AK-47s, something, you know.
Very popular, even in movie theaters. Peter Todd, your thoughts about AMC accepting Bitcoin online?
Well, for the record, I haven't been in a movie theater in like 6 years, so you know, I there's a limit to my knowledge here. But I think first of all, is like AMC in El Salvador, because if so, they're already accepting Bitcoin. But you know, beyond that, like, I mean, what do you expect? It's cheap to go ad. Like, why wouldn't you? You know, there's so many of these places have like a payment list with like 5 different ways to pay anyway. You know, why not add a 6th one? And if they're doing like Bitcoin plus Dogecoin plus, you know, like Ether and God knows what else, they're probably just doing it through some payment processor who's handling everything.
It's amazing. You can pay more ways through AMC than the Wikipedia, because the Wikipedia did a study and they found out that less people donated the more payment options you added. So AMC's stock price already went down. They're already a company on the decline. And once again, they're failing at their opportunity to adopt Bitcoin and whatever, Ether, Doge, whatever they want to adopt. Get in on that meme coin thing. Get those Bitcoin ATMs. I don't understand why people don't write stories. Like Josh wrote a story recently here where he said you could get a mortgage with a free popcorn. That's a beautiful story. Why don't they write the story where people start buying their Bitcoin at the movie theater? I go weekly to the movie theater. I get a popcorn and, you know, 2 little pieces of Bitcoin, and maybe someday they'll tell their grandparents, their grandchildren, how they bought that Bitcoin at a movie theater. Wouldn't that be a great story? Instead, they're going to be like, AMC goes out of business. Even though
certainly it'd be easier to NFT the popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have
NFTs,
to, you know,
everything?
Yeah. Like, why do we have to go to the movie theater, pick up our popcorn, you know, move it off to the theater? Like, why can't we NFT it? So all those steps happen, but with digital tracking and ownership.
Yeah.
And this is their chance to get ahead of that. We all know the real reason to offer gift cards is that people don't use gift cards. I have no way of gauging how much movie popcorn I need in the future. And if they sell it at a good price online in an NFT form, like Peter's saying, I'll probably overstock on popcorn.
Yeah.
People will probably think it's a joke to brag about how much popcorn they have. They'll probably buy it all, AMC. Like, you clearly don't try. Like, you're like that Wendy's account, but really lazy.
Yeah, and you could pay with Cassacious coins. Maybe that would be cool. Bring back Casages. That's what
Yeah.
we need.
They could have all kinds of Bitcoin kiosks, all kind of Bitcoin arcade, like lightning things where you could pay and play pinball. They could really adopt this thing, at least in one location, and the media would write about it. But instead, we're just getting this online offer again. Let's move on to the exit question. Is there a movie you'd like to see in the theaters? Is there anything good that you've seen lately? Josh Shigala.
No, it's all propaganda and programming. It's all nonsense. Can't stand it.
Oh, terrible. Peter Todd, a movie.
I mean, I fly so much. Like, I get to go see all the new releases coming out and stuff like that. And I honestly can't tell you a single one that I can think of in like the past, 10 flights. Like they're just so unremarkable and forgettable.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just, they're terrible. Hollywood's died.
I saw Free Guy lately, and I think it's fantastic. You should check out Free Guy with Van Wilder, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. He plays a non-player character in a Grand Theft Auto type world, and he's like an AI that comes to life. It's much better than Finch with Tom Hanks, which plays like a violin on all your emotions. There's a dog, there's a robot, there's Tom Hanks. They're in trouble. Stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's the level of writing that you seem to be getting out of Apple TV movies. I don't know why that's happening, but yeah, it was a pitch. It should have been a pitch meeting. I can't wait for the YouTube guy. Pitch meeting Finch. And again, I love sci-fi. I love the robot. Like they totally played on me at every point. But still, just messing with people. All right, moving on to the next issue. Issue 2. Jack in the Box suing crypto exchange FTX, says it brazenly copied its Jack mascot. Both mascots have big white round heads and blue dot eyes. Moon Man on the left, Jack in the Box on the right. Peter Todd did FTX, which also bought Blockfolio, which also sponsored the umpires of the Major League Baseball World Series, which advertised with Matt Damon in a museum-like commercial with an African-American Satoshi astronaut. Did they steal Jack in the Box's logo? Or even better, did they steal Jack in the Box's logo on purpose to get more attention? Peter Todd.
Well, as a guy with a fine arts degree, I can go tell you that what really matters is how the idea came about. Because just like movies, there aren't that many good ideas in art. So it's not that surprising when two different people come up with the exact same thing. Now, they might want to go defend it, like, convincingly show otherwise, but yeah, maybe they stole it, maybe they didn't. Like, especially in logo design, you see tons of logos that are identical just because, how many boxes and circles and whatever are there out there? I mean, the idea of, making a logo of some white thing with, a bunch of eyes on it, like, that's an easy thing to go draw in 3D graphics. They could have come up with it independently. Maybe not. We'll see. See what the lawyers think.
Josh Shigala, did they steal the Moon Man?
No, but I definitely think they should sue every single child on earth who makes a snowman this year, because it's time to bring down those copycat snowman building kids.
Well, I want to stand up for Jack in the Box here if no one else will. They clearly had the Jack logo. When I saw the Moon Man commercial, I thought that looks like a dirty Jack in the Box. Like, did you rub them through the dirt? And the moonness is not very clear. If I was FTX, I would have went with a more distinct moon mascot, like the McDonald's mascot Mac Tonight from the 1980s, who actually has a crescent moon shaped head, as you can see from all of this prior art here. So yes, it's a very unoriginal commercial. I think perhaps intentionally designed to get sued.
Where the hell did FTX come from anyway? They just appeared out of nowhere and it was suddenly big.
This is an excellent question. As far as the basic details, there seems to be some kind of a cryptocurrency trading wunderkind who made tons of money, started his own exchange, called it FTX, and then went around buying things like Blockfolio. And that's the reason I know about them. But no, basically, yes, they seem to have tons of money and they want to be an exchange, and they sponsored the baseball. Like this thing in crypto.com is everywhere. They're sponsoring basketball players on the uniforms. Like, it's crazy.
We're mainstream now, man.
We are totally mainstream. Exit question. What do you think about FTX's promotions? Will they be successful? Will FTX be the best exchange? Is it going to be Coinbase or Kraken, who recently started their own National Hockey League franchise to get more attention? Peter Todd?
Kraken started a hockey league.
There's a team in Seattle named the Seattle Kraken. I can only assume Jesse Powell is doing very well and owns a hockey team. It's just a rumor. I'm just,
I mean, the problem is, like, with Bitcoin so big, I can't tell whether or not this is real or fake.
It's only fake so far, but the team is real.
I mean, Kraken is a good name for a team, as well as a Bitcoin exchange.
Peter goes with Kraken. Josh Agala, FTX, will it be a wild success? Will we all be looking back at this like that was the greatest advertising in history? No one has ever done it.
My hope is still on proper decentralized exchanges, and these DEXs are pretty amazing. I like the DeFi space, as much as it's full of nonsense and people washing their own pockets and putting money from one pocket to another and stuff. It's still in pure numbers is doing more volume than all of the entire fintech space put together, including Venmo and some of these unicorns. So I don't know, like let's I don't know. Like, I mean, we run Voltoro, it's a centralized exchange, but it's, I think decentralized exchanges are the dream that you want to head towards. I don't know if it'll happen.
All right, I'm going to use my 30 seconds to pitch you the perfect commercial for Strike. You do the 1984 Apple commercial. You have Brian Armstrong with his bald head on the TV speaking about Coinbase and how great the future is going to be when all your transactions are owned. And then Jack comes in dressed with a full wig and that torch thing, and he throws the hammer into the thing. And then it says, F Coinbase, join Strike. We need more dramatic stuff like that. Sorry, Peter, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I mean, look, if you're going to be throwing things with a name like Strike, why can't we make it bowling based? Like, who doesn't want to see a bunch of pins fall over?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you follow up the series with a full Lebowski. You put Jack in the Lebowski costume again with the long hair. That's my theme for Jack plus long hair equals joke. And then you just keep repeating that. I think Mrs. Doubtfire. I think you go bosom buddies. And you just do all these, like, just steal everything and just keep stealing things until you get sued, so that you get an advertisement in the thing. Like right here, the Verge.com was advertising FTX because they got sued by Jack in the Box. Synergy, baby.
Hey, Peter, in terms of decentralized exchanges, just quickly, as we don't get you on the show very often, do you think there's a possibility that there will be one that's using liquidity pools properly and sitting with Bitcoin and all that sort of fun stuff?
I mean, I don't think, like, I mean, the issue there is, like, the sort of the Bitcoin side of things is easy enough, but trying to then figure out how to do useful exchange with currencies is tough, because how do you verify trades happen? You suddenly get into weird reputation systems. It's just very, very ugly on so many levels. And it's just so hard to compete with something like Kraken, where there's a company and I know that, my Canadian dollars are going to wind up in my bank account, and that's that. Like, I use Kraken all the time, and, it works really well at what it does. And same things like with Bull Bitcoin. I mean, again, that's another one that I actually personally use. And, it may be centralized, but it's not custodial, in any real way. And it works. Like, it's just a very hard thing to compete with, I think. And what I think you're more likely to get is not so much decentralized exchange, but maybe decentralized order books in a way that then gets settled in somewhat more opaque ways than, say, a true centralized exchange would be. And, like, what I mean by settled is, like, if we have an order book where I can, sell you some Bitcoin, and you can send me some cash. To other participants in it, it's not as clear whether or not that trade actually happened, right? That's where the opaqueness comes in, and that's very hard to get away from.
Yeah, until everyone starts accepting sort of some of these stable coins that are pegged to the fiat, then
and that's only a transitional state between, you know, that what we have now in like full Bitcoinization or full digital currency, you know, whatever the heck the digital currency is. Maybe it is the US dollar, you know, but like there's just not that much room for these ideas.
Yeah. Well, not with $60 of stakes and $8 petrol at the moment. Jesus, I saw the inflation is insane right now. They're heading towards hyper.
There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, there sure is.
Well, I think I said on Twitter the other day how it's just hilarious to go accuse Bitcoin of trying to take down the US dollar when they're doing a perfectly good job all by themselves.
Yeah, it's so true. That is spot on. Absolutely. Damn.
Well, it is the first month that they've noticed inflation since 1990. So we're making progress. We're making progress there. They've noticed it. Moving on. Check out the WCN Clips channel. WCN Clips. We've got clips on YouTube. Subscribe now. WCN Clips. Issue 3. Bitcoin to hit 90K in coming weeks despite pullback. It's a case of, if in doubt, zoom out this week as Bitcoin heads for a showdown with Taproot and ETF approvals. Josh Agala, the price of Bitcoin, is it heading to 90K?
I mean, just like I said, with the stakes going at $80 and petrol gas at $8, I don't think Bitcoin's heading to 80K. I think the dollar's heading down, so Bitcoin reaches 80K. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. It seems like everyone's obsessed with that price. But if the dollar really screws up, I think we're all pretty much screwed.
Yeah, can we stop pricing Bitcoin in US dollars? Like, can we start pricing it in maybe, you know, pounds of like
or gold? I mean, that's why I started Voltoro. It was like, let's price it in gold.
I think we should do it in meat, like Peter's saying, pounds of steak per Bitcoin. How much meat can you get? But anyway, don't worry. We don't just have CoinDesk or Cointelegraph writing these breathless articles to tell us how high the price could go. We also have the Bitcoin predictor ball. So Peter and Josh, it's now your chance to predict against the ball. Josh Agala, will the price of Bitcoin be higher this time next week?
Yeah.
Peter Todd.
Maybe.
Fence sitting.
A very predictive, maybe a push, one of the worst predictions. Here we are. We ask the ball, we shake the ball.
The ball constantly fence sits, man. So don't worry about it.
Could cause bubbles. Here we go. Will the price be higher this time next week? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. The ball has spoken. There it is. That's truth. Moving on to issue 4. The Miami Herald is serious about popping up ads. Suarez says Miami residents will be getting Bitcoin yield in digital wallets. It's a complicated story. Let's try to break down part of it. Miami created MayorCoin, which they then allowed people to mine and somehow made $21 million. The $21 million is being denominated in another cryptocurrency called stacks. When the stacks are locked up, there's a 10% Bitcoin dividend or reward for securing the stacks network. Therefore, the city of Miami will now have a 10% yield, $1 million in Bitcoin, or $2 a resident. But this could be thousands in a decade. I also have beachfront land in Nevada and some incredible swamps in Florida to sell you. Peter Todd, has the mayor of Miami cracked the code with stacks, MayorCoin, and this brilliant plan to pay the citizens all $2 based upon just incredible financial market success of MayorCoin?
Remind me again, how many dollars does it take to send a $2 check to every citizen?
Yeah.
I think we could send it to them in Miami coin.
Yeah, well, the gas fees on that. I don't know.
Yeah. This sounds like one of those projects where the outcome is, oh, shoot, what are we going to do now?
Oh, that's pretty much the modus operandi of any government scheme.
Well, they're already launching a sequel called New York Coin, and the company that's making these city coins is going city to city, creating these new coins. It's reminiscent of what was the Icelandic coin?
Aurora.
Aurora coin. We had California coin back in the day. We lived in California, so we mined some California coin. We were patriotic in that way, unsuccessful in that market. But yes, it's all come back again. The cities have figured out they can print money out of nothing. They can put it into this stacks thing, which Adam Back on Twitter said reminded him of Hex, which is always good when the city of Miami is right there with Richard Hart and Hex. You like to see that. And I can't wait till New York City's in the same boat.
Governments are great at building Ponzi schemes as much as they hate it. Like the entire retirement scheme, you have to get more young people into the workforce to pay for the old leaving. So, you know, that's why China's in shit out of luck because they had one child policy for so long. But yeah, these sort of schemes are an obvious sort of weird Ponzi, right? We'll put in stacks and then we'll pay you real Bitcoin. I'm getting real Bitcoin to people. They have to actually get this stuff. That's rare. So I don't know, man. It's kind of wacky. I think yeah, I don't know where this scam's heading.
Like if politicians celebrated openings of new factories and restaurants and other things like half as much as they celebrated all this nonsense. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I just think it's great to see all these people go through their Bitcoin learning process. But the problem is a bunch of them seem to be babies and children and toddlers, and they're not learning very fast. So how many of these like quasi scams, these like, well, I guess it's a, what do they call it when it's a star doing the thing? It's based on their identity. So Miami is selling their identity, that kind of scam.
Oh, what, like affiliate scam?
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Like like you become a influencer and then you put out a scam in your name, and every influencer has to go through it, and now it's at the city level. Like soon a state will come out, like Nebraska. They'll be like, Nebraska coin. We're gonna save the government of Nebraska by putting our money into Stacks Flex technology, and we're gonna get 10% yield on our 80%. Like somebody's gonna do this, and it'll work the first couple times. Then 8 more states will do it, and then they'll get over leveraged and they'll crash, and then they'll blame Bitcoin. The important thing is after all this happens, you blame Bitcoin.
Like speaking of, I am selling stacks of open timestamps coin.
Stamps.
As long as they're in a stack, like you just have to put coin on the end.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's interesting is that in the EU here we have the ECB, this sort of super state structure, so that members of the European Union can't print their own money. That's why Greece had to they couldn't just print their own money to get out of problems. They had to actually sell acropolises and actual land and islands to the CBD, and the CBD would just print the shit out of nowhere. Go, here you go. It's the weirdest thing. So it's kind of weird. It's the same sort of in the States. You have the Federal Reserve, and now you've got the little ones, the little states that can't print their own official money. So maybe now they're just getting into this crypto stuff.
Exit question. Who will print their own coin next? We've got Miami coin. We've got New York City coin. Peter Todd, name the next coin.
San Francisco coin. They're dead broke anyway.
They may as well do it. Do you think it'll be a similar, like built by this company? Because this company's going around. They're handing out flyers. So if you're the mayor, you're like, I read a flyer and we're going to get so much money. Or do you think they'll use like a open source, roll it up like San Francisco, like a real cool coin?
It's San Francisco coin. You got to go back it, buy used needles and human excrement.
For every pound of human excrement that we collect, we will print 1,000 San Francisco coins.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Josh Shigala, other than San Francisco, who prints their own coin next?
Well, you know, the NBA, they found these NFTs, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, wow, we just made 25 million bucks out of it. We made 50 million. What? And, you know, like in true, totally not understanding money at all, they just go, we made what? 50 million. Print more of them. Get more NFTs, more hot shots. And I think this is probably going to be the same with any of these state coins. They go like, hang on, we raised how much? Print more. So you're sort of like trusting. Yeah, just, I don't know, probably some sort of sports team rather than another state.
How would they screw that up though? Like baseball cards being a thing for decades. They know how the collectible market works. You know, like this should be a no-brainer for them.
It should be, but they are literally screwing up. The NBA are now just pumping this stuff out like there's no tomorrow. And
that's
Well, and it's
or
the model,
maybe they're
again,
smarter than you think.
No,
Maybe.
they're not. It's sad. The model is right there. You copy this Bored Ape Yacht Club. You get an artist to draw an awesome picture of every NBA player plus the team, and then you sell one of ones and let the market go totally insane over collecting their favorite player, and let the players fight with the other players to own each other.
Okay.
So
Here's the
much
thing
awesome.
though. Like
Again, it sounds
remember-
terrible. It's the words coming out of my mouth sound terrible.
But remember, we got to look at this from the perspective of the NBA. They might be looking at NFTs and thinking, all right, this is a pile of nonsense that'll be completely gone in 5 years. So let's maximize our revenue now before it's gone.
yeah,
And if
Well,
you're in
it's
that
all there,
mindset,
though.
printing,
They just have to go for it. Like, gosh, the one of ones, man.
but the thing
Ooh.
is, if that's their mindset, it makes sense to go print as many as possible and flood the market because you
Yeah.
got one shot at making money out of this. You might as well take advantage of it now.
yeah.
You
Even
know, this
like
isn't
you
like,
said,
you know,
though, they've
magic
had
cards.
years of experience with collectibles. So like,
Yeah, but collectibles have been durable for years. Like if they actually think NFTs are going to be totally gone in 5 years, it makes
Yeah.
sense to flood the market now. Baseball cards will probably still be around at 50.
Well,
Meanwhile,
if
over
OpenSea
in baseball
disappears-
cards, Topps used to have the deal with Major League Baseball. They lost it after 50 years. They made their first set of NFT baseball cards on wax, and now everyone's
Wow.
just waiting to see what the new company will do. If they, I'm sure they'll make
Wow.
NFTs, but what platform, what
Yeah.
type, etc.
Yeah.
Tops. Were you an ice skating guy coming from Canada? Were you like into that sort of thing, Todd, Peter?
I mean, I knew how to skate, but I didn't. I never really got into hockey or anything.
Yeah.
And by knowing how to skate, like I could go very fast. I could turn well and all that. But I wasn't so good at stopping. The stopping
Yeah.
bit, you know.
that's
I
the
never-
one that
I
all
never got that
that
good
looks
at it.
really
Yeah.
cool too. It's like,
Yeah. I could do a hockey stop, but you know, like there's all kinds of stops you want to do, and
Yeah.
I was mainly good at that one. Yeah.
I do the Japanese
Could do
schoolgirl stop. That's my.
Yeah.
Or is it? Can't really do anything else.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can do the go straight at the board as fast as you can and just slam into it. I like doing that as a kid. It's
That's
fun.
also fun. Yeah.
You guys have no idea how bad it was in California. The rollerblades. You had this little stopper on the back. You couldn't do a kick
Yeah.
stop, and you were outside on completely uneven ground. At any time, you were like doing well. You're like, I can skate. No, you cannot. Like, it happened many times.
Here's my dentist card.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time. Moving on to issue 4. Issue 4. Truckload of GPUs stolen on their way out of San Francisco. San Francisco's in the news again after being mentioned in the last issue as the place most likely to make their own coin. As a US-based NVIDIA partner, EVGA has reported that a truckload of stolen GPUs has been taken. They voided all the warranties, so I'm sure they won't be used for cryptocurrency mining. Josh Shigala, is it exciting to see Bitcoin criminals branching out into actually stealing truckloads of graphics cards to mine Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just accidentally found this truck and rolled it. Did they? Yeah. Anyway, it's really, it is amazing. I think there's better things to steal though, because as soon as you switch on too much hardware, remember back in the day, like the cops would beat down houses because they'd think they'd be like growing weed, and it was just like some dude with a bunch of graphics cards. Yeah.
Well, for the record, let's just be clear. These are not going to be used to mine Bitcoin. Mining Bitcoin and GPUs is stupid.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
No. It's going to be mining San Francisco coin.
Honestly, it's more likely that this is going to be sold to gamers.
Yeah.
Because like what's really gone on is that GPUs being, snapped up for crypto mining operations, non-Bitcoin crypto mining. And then gamers, they're still willing to pay, good money for GPUs. So they'll probably get sold one at a time to gamers. I mean, in San Francisco, they're so good at
the only way that the
stuff.
poor gamers can get any cards is out of the back of some truck somewhere, paying only in cash, like a dirty transformation, like dirty transaction. Ooh.
I don't know if I trust a graphics card like that still deals with VGA. I'm just saying.
My cousin got this card. It fell off a truck. No, I think it's super exciting. In my mind, there's an entire heist film where the guys know that there's going to be graphics cards in the truck. And they even have like the nerdy guy on the computer. And they're like, how much hash power is in this truck? Oh, that really does stuff. Yeah. And then
the hero of the film is going to be the guy who finally does a better deal. It provides all the poor gamers who just can't game because they can't get GPUs with their GPUs. Like it'll be like a Robin Hood thing.
He takes over their data center, and their data center contract is a DAC. So he interfaces with the DAC, and he outsmarts it the way the DAO hacker did. He like makes his own DAO above it, and he takes over all their hosting and all their hash power. Then he gives all that hash power back to the gamers. So now everyone can have good graphics and
cloud computing.
It's all free because the computer's alive now.
All right, I'm going to do a new proof of work where it does need a GPU, but it needs a GPU playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So it's a human GPU assisted. Yeah. So you have to get headshots.
Yeah, proof of kills.
Constantly. Yeah, proof of kills. But the GPU is the central part because you got to prove that you're rendering Counter-Strike.
Well, and once you get that down, you want to have it play all games. And basically what you're making is like a Terminator for the virtual world, where it just goes out there and it's like, everyone complains that games are too hard already online. People are too good. So you make the perfect killer in all games, and it just keeps learning, and it just keeps hunting, and then that produces the coins. Yeah.
And then it learns about Fortnite and just gets fat, and like humanity's fine.
It just builds really big forts, gives up on the whole killing thing.
Yeah. Mostly socializes with its friends. Its other AI friends. Humanity's saved.
See, that's why everyone should be free guy. It's just so good. Moving on to our bonus issue I added just because Peter's here. A major upgrade to Bitcoin is happening soon. According to CNBC, here's what investors should know. Taproot, a highly anticipated upgrade to Bitcoin, is going to go into effect in the coming days at block 709,632. Some sources say it'll go live as soon as Saturday. The first major upgrade since 2017 includes Schnorr signatures, making Bitcoin more private, efficient, and less expensive. It'll also let Bitcoin execute smart contracts on the blockchain. No explanation given what that will be. Some experts believe that Taproot will have a minimal effect on Bitcoin's price. That's what people really cared about. Peter, Todd, should we be excited about the Taproot upgrade? It seems like years and years and years, but it's finally here.
I mean, if you're an investor, by now it should be basically priced in. Because really, the only thing that's going to happen the moment it upgrades is a little bit of uncertainty over whether or not it'll actually activate without Bitcoin blowing up. And it's very hard to come up with a scenario where that would actually impact Bitcoin for more than a few hours, even if everything was screwed up. So in terms of investment, that's actually your impact, which is minimal. And the other bit of advice to give is don't listen to CNBC. They're terrible.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's
Longer
exciting.
term, there's
the
like
chance of Bitcoin blowing up. That's cool.
like longer term, there's fun stuff you can do with Taproot, but I don't think it's hard to directly connect that to like Bitcoin price in a nice, exciting way. And this is a bit about enables Bitcoin to do smart contracts. It's just such utter nonsense. Like Lightning is a smart contract.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've checked, but there's a lot of Lightning transactions going on. Like Taproot doesn't do anything more than that in a fundamental way. Makes a lot of different things more efficient, but these aren't like fundamental, categorical changes.
It's more like a lifestyle update. Like you bought good shoes and over time your feet will feel better, but it's not going to happen right away. But the only way the media understands things is right away. So can you tell them that like there'll be NFTs on Bitcoin, which there already are on Rare Toshi? There'll be like new, better NFTs. There'll be instantly like smart contracts. Like, are people ready? Are they like, we've been spinning up companies to take advantage of Taproot?
All you've ever needed to make an NFT in a sane way that actually works has been available in Bitcoin from literally day zero.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It
makes no sense to tie NFTs into the logic of Bitcoin itself. It's crazy.
Yeah. Remember we had like Kalu that you could just do it straight away off their app.
Yeah, it's not hard. The hardest thing about
an IPFS link, yeah.
See, the hardest thing about NFTs is not actually getting the technology to work. It's getting a community that's sufficiently full of scammers to generate hype about
it.
I can see a formula on the wall of like how many community members you'd need and how much, hype and this kind of picture and that kind of picture. And
I mean, the problem with Bitcoin is it's really lacking the hype opcode.
The hype opcode, yeah, which is unfortunate. Maybe, but Taproot is maybe a mini hype opcode.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but you're right. Like this is
some of the hype was there in this article. They were saying Taproot, by encouraging privacy and secrecy, could cause governments to attack Bitcoin again, which the media was displaying as bad. But if you're looking for Bitcoin advertising, that would be good. So that hype was there. We've got that kind of hype. But yeah, it's funny to see we still don't have a Bitcoin marketing agency or a Bitcoin professional group or any kind of thing. Even Adam Back was saying on Twitter that Bitcoin doesn't have this, and still kind of like.
But I mean, there's literally a Bitcoin professional group, or whatever the heck they call themselves. I mean, there was the Bitcoin association. Like, I think like that just goes and says that we found that those things are inevitably toxic because they get taken over by terrible people, or they're just ineffective and they don't matter. Like there's a Bitcoin standards organization, if I remember correctly, which is just basic professionalism standards for like what knowledge do you know, and they're perfectly fine from what I can tell. They run some tests and that's that.
I paid a whole bunch of money in the beginning at this thing called the Bitcoin. What were they? The association, no, the
Bitcoin Foundation.
It's been that long, and I never got anything for that. I don't even know why I paid. I just thought, that sounds cool.
It was like a 10 Bitcoin lifetime membership.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Good use of your money right there.
Yeah, fantastic. Loving that.
Yeah, and Brock Pierce somehow gets to be the president for life of that organization. It's been incredible. Right. Like as far as like resume building, like he's just the king of that. Like that thing for life. And then John Oliver made fun of him on EOS. He disappeared for a while, but now he's come back, and EOS is giving him, I don't know, $200 million or something to start a company. And it's great, man. Way to go, Brock.
Yeah. I'm excited about this upgrade. I think it's really fun. But like Peter said, it's all priced in. Like the what's actually going to happen, the price will go down as soon as it works, because pump, and then sell the news. Then everyone will think, there won't be any good news about Bitcoin for another until the next halvening. And someone will go, yeah, but smart contracts. Oh, you mean a more efficient multi-sig?
if Taproot activates and the price does nothing, that will be a sign of maturity for the Bitcoin market.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's such a geeky upgrade, though, I fear.
Like 4 years ago, we had the horrible fight for UASF. Then we had another fight for 2X back to back. And now we have Taproot. No one's fighting at all. We don't have to put little icons in our Twitter. No one has to buy any hats. Like, it's been a lot cleaner this time.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the stakes are much lower. I mean, SegWit was fundamentally about what the future of Bitcoin will be. Now, and then prior to that, like say, my check lock to verify upgrade or check sequence verify, those were actually kind of uncontroversial because at the point they weren't about where Bitcoin would go in the future. They helped shape that, like they helped make Lightning possible, but they themselves weren't that pivotal point. So we might find actually something kind of innocuous after Taproot is the big, issue, only because it, extends Taproot in just far enough to do something, I haven't thought of yet that changes Bitcoin. But, like that's the issue. In Taproot, it just won't fundamentally change Bitcoin. Lightning does. And SegWit made Lightning possible.
It's always the quiet ones. It's the quiet upgrades that get you. Check out the WCN Twitter account at World Crypto Net on Twitter. Marwi from El Salvador, from Venezuela, has been doing all kinds of great tweets on the World Crypto Network Bitcoin Twitter account. Check it out. We've got an old interview with Tatiana from the Money 2020 conference. We've got an old Mad Bitcoins from 2013, all on the World Crypto Net Twitter account. And we're running out of time, but we've still got time for predictions or a story of the week. Josh Shigala, are you ready with a prediction or a story of the week?
I'll have to leave it up to Todd for now. Peter, sorry. I always call you by your last name, Peter. Sorry, mate.
All right, Peter, Todd, are you ready with a prediction or a story of the week? Go ahead.
Well, given we talked about Taproot, all right, I'll make my prediction with Taproot. Between 2 hours before Taproot enables and 2 hours after, the price doesn't change by more than 10%. I may be completely wrong because price might just be volatile anyway, but that's my prediction, and I'll try going for that.
Predictions for a peaceful and loving and a merry Taproot season.
Yes.
It sounds very seasonal from Peter Todd. Josh Shigala, do you have a prediction or a story of the week?
Story of the week is we've got a Discord server. Everyone said go to Discord, and I was and it is so much better. It's so much better. Telegram's such a freaking nightmare. I don't even know why people use Telegram when it gets more than like 5 people, because it's just nonsense. So it's quite good. Everything can be nicely categorized and chat and actually communicate and do real governance in terms of debating, things. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So check out on the standard.io and check out community.
And what's the magic word they should use in the chat to prove they watched to the end of the show?
Oh yeah, you watch Mad Bitcoins, I guess.
Mad Bitcoins.
Mad.
Good word. Well, I think we're running out of time for today, so everyone be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, bye.